Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm really excited for this video because we are going to be DIYing home decor inspired by Olive Ateliers.
It's just the last time I can see you in a while. Is it the truth that
If you watch the same sort of content that I watch on YouTube, you've probably heard of Olive Ateliers at this point because a lot of people are talking about
Olive Ateliers?
But if you do not know what Olive Ateliers is, it is located in Los Angeles, California, and a lot of the pieces that they carry have a story and have been salvaged. So while researching about Olive Ateliers, I came to the understanding that they don't sell online. So the only way that you can purchase from Olive Ateliers is to go to Los Angeles, California, visit their showroom, and purchase an item there. So it seemed like if you go there and purchase, they can arrange shipping. Because we're not able to buy these things online, I decided to go through their Instagram and just look at some of their decor. And while I was looking through them, I realized how many items that I've thrifted for thrift flips that could be turned into something inspired by these items from Olive Ateliers. So we're gonna be making 3 DIYs inspired by Olive Ateliers today. The first 2 are going to be thrifted items that I'm going to be transforming. And then the final item, which is gonna be the biggest challenge for me, we're going to be creating from scratch. Let me go ahead and show you what pieces we're working with. The first piece that we have, I've shown this piece in a thrift haul before. So you've probably seen it. And this is the inspiration that I'm going to use to transform this crock. So although the shape of this is not really that close to the inspiration pictures, I really am inspired by the finish on those pieces. So I love the color and I like the sheen on them. Like I like how they're glossy. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then if I think it looks too simple, I can always go back and add the handles with some clay. I'm just not sure if this exact crock is the ideal piece to do that. This, I believe, was just around $2 at the thrift store. To start off with the crock, I scrubbed it really well with some soapy water so that it was nice and clean. And my plan with this is just to simply spray paint it. I bought some cream colored spray paint and then a high gloss top coat, and hopefully that alone will give me the result I'm looking for.
being gentle with how we feel? There's a charge in the room. I can feel all the fire rising.
Right now we're running into 2 problems. The first is that you can see where the leaves were. And the second is that I'm not 100% sold on this color. I'm gonna go back to the hardware store and pick up a couple new colors to try out. I love the cream, I just don't think it's matching the inspiration perfectly. I picked up 2 new colors to try, deep grayish and smoky beige. I could just not choose between the 2 of them. They're really similar, but it's really hard to tell until you actually test it out. And then here is the cream that we used. Just don't think it's quite the inspiration compared to the other 2. I went to go test out with deep grayish spray paint and it came out splotchy like this. And then I realized that maybe if I do the smoky beige as a base coat and then use the grayish as like a slightly splotchy top coat and then seal that in, it might give it the texture that it's needing. So here's how it's looking. Stick around till the very end of the video to see how it looks styled and to hear the price breakdown. But what do you think? Would you leave it as is or would you add some handles? Let me know what you think down below.
The next item that I found at the thrift store is this wood round. So I got this at the thrift store for $1.20. You could get something similar to this at a hardware store that sells wood does not have to be thrifted. It would be more expensive than $1.20. I'm gonna be using the inspiration picture from Olive Ateliers where they show these really cool aged wooden risers or stands that have these really cool feet, and the wood is super aged and distressed and just has lots of history to it. So I'm going to be attempting to recreate that look with this piece of thrifted wood.
The first thing I did was clean it with some soapy water and then rinse it really well.
So I'm going to start by trying to sand it down and seeing what the natural wood looks like.
I started sanding it with the 40 grit sandpaper because I really wanted to strip it down to its natural wood. And then I used the 80 grit just to go back in for a second sanding.
This is a good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone.
As you can see, the 40 grit sandpaper did a really good job of stripping off the old finish, and I honestly don't even think I need to stain it. For the feet, I used this 1x1 piece of wood that we had left over from a previous project. The part that's going to be attaching to the bottom of the tray is going to be the full 2 inches long, and then I'm going to cut an angle so that it will start to taper from the top to the bottom. So it will look something like this once I cut the excess off. So let's go ahead and cut these. I used my miter saw to cut a 30-degree angle on one side and then cut it at the 90-degree angle on the other side. So it should look something like this once I attach it, so you can see how it tapers down on one side. I decided to turn the tray over from what I think it is originally used for, and I'm going to attach it on this side just because I wanted the top to be super smooth and I didn't want it to have the lip on the side. But here's kind of what it will look like once I attach the legs. When I'm going to attach the legs, I'm going to make sure that the line from the top of the tray to the bottom of the foot is very smooth, almost as if it's one piece. Before I could attach them, I wanted to make sure all of the edges were nice and smooth, so I took my sander and sanded all of the edges and the corners down. So the top one is not sanded and the bottom one has been sanded. So as you can see, there's no more jagged edges, no more sharp corners. It's very smooth, almost has a more weathered look to it. I repeated this process with all 4 feet before I was ready to attach them to the tray. I'm finally ready to attach them, so I'm going to drill a pilot hole with a drill bit that's slightly smaller than my screw. Then I switched my drill bit out for a driver bit, and this one actually came with my box of screws, which were 1 3/4 inch wood screws. I made sure to sink my screws all the way into the surface of the wood so that when you turn it over and set it on a table, it's sitting flat, not becoming bumpy because there's a screw sticking out. I repeated the process with the remaining feet. And here's how it's looking so far. The next thing I want to do is add some wood filler so that I can really fill in any gaps and make it seem like it's almost one piece that's been carved out of the same piece of wood. First, I'm going to sand it one more time to make sure that they're all really smooth and seamless. So as you can see, the center of the tray has more of a red dark tone to it, and sides of the tray has more natural look to it. So I'm going to use the cherry wood filler to hopefully match the more red tone, and then I'm going to use the natural wood filler to hopefully match the lighter part of the wood. And since I want the feet to look like they're carved from the same piece of wood instead of 2 separate pieces that have been screwed together, I am kind of just slopping this on everywhere to make the feet look a little more red. And then I'm just making sure to really get it in all those gaps so that it looks really seamless and, like I said, like one piece of wood. I'm going to repeat this exact same process with the foot opposite of this one, and then repeat the process with the natural wood filler on the other 2 feet. But with the natural, I'm not going to be spreading the wood filler all over the foot. I'm just going to be focusing on the gaps and crevices because I don't want the color of the wood to change. So here's how it's looking. With the cherry wood filler, I'm gonna lightly sand that to make it nice and smooth, but I don't wanna remove the wood filler because I like the color that it added to the feet. And with the natural color, it's definitely too light, so when I go in and sand that, I'm gonna try to get as much off as possible. And since the natural wood filler was still too light for the wood, I just took a little bit of golden oak stain and tried to stain the wood filler to match the wood a little bit better. In the future, I would just use a wood filler that matched the tray better. Stick around for the price breakdown and the final reveal of this tray.
And then last but not least, the most challenging of all the DIYs that we have today, I will be taking this wood that I bought and I'm going to be replicating these amazing aged, weathered looking benches from Olive Ateliers.
We're starting with a 2x8 piece of wood that is cut to 4 feet. And then we have two 2x2s that I will cut into 4 19-inch long pieces with a 15-degree angle on both sides. It's important that your piece should be cut into a rhombus shape, not a trapezoid. So as you can see, the angles on the top match the angle on the bottom. Next, I need to cut the support pieces. I will need 2 pieces at 8 inches long, and these angles will be 15 degrees, but this one will be a trapezoid instead of a rhombus, and then the same shape with the 15-degree angles at 4 inches long. I will need 2 of those. So we will have 4 19-inch pieces cut with a 15-degree angle on both sides, shaped to be a rhombus, 2 8-inch and 2 4-inch long trapezoid shaped pieces, and then 1 4-foot long board for the top. The first thing we need to do is distress the wood to make it look old. So I'm starting with a hand planer to just rough up all of the edges to make them a lot smoother. And I'm also taking this piece and just kind of randomly taking small gouges out of the large part of the wood. I will be using multiple different methods to age this wood. And I just want to say that this is the most tedious and longest part of the entire project. However, it's also the most important if you want it to have that aged look, like the inspiration from Olive Ateliers. And I just continued experimenting with different tools and different methods of aging this wood, and just continued on that process until I felt like the wood was how I wanted it.
Things are well. What facts belong, it's hard to say. The pattern is so hard to tell. But we're together, that's our game. Round and round and round we go. The dance ain't over, I'm sure we're still the same. Love the ways you make us whole. Would you say if things ain't right? Look away, what's really going on? What's really going on? Would you tell me, can't you say what's really going on? What's really going on? Down the bottom in the hole, there's no sane ways, there's no explanations. I've got things I tend to moan. In these times, just please be patient. Be my shore, you be my home. Drag us out and build us up again. Put things right and let me go. No way of knowing if there's still time. Look away.
The bench is being stained golden oak, and then I will come in later and do a finishing wax on the top.
You feel like summer days to me, warm, tender, sunny rays. I hope that we are meant to be. You say nothing at all when we meet, yet somehow I know your history. Oh, come what may, I'm ready. Picture frames, lavender.
These have been stained, and then these still need to be stained. So I'm going to finish those and then check back in with you. Here's how it's looking. You might have noticed I did not use a wood conditioner because I actually wanted the wood to look sort of splotchy like this. I thought it actually helped with the aging effect. And it's finally time to assemble the bench, so I'm starting to lay my legs out, and I'm getting my new pocket hole jig out. I recently upgraded to this one.
Better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. Seven years now on this boat, and we all know where we belong. Just wait. For our home to show on the horizon, soon we'll be there. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore when we can't read the sky. We just sail with the wind that we've got. And when we're drowning in doubt, just keep on believing. We are dreamers of the shore.
It's time for the very last step, which is to add this white wax on top. Let's take a look at how all 3 pieces turned out.
The fall is coming, I can feel it. The breeze brings goosebumps to my skin. Tonight the whiskey feels stronger. Gasoline on hidden desires. So I'll throw another log on the fire. Let it burn. Let it burn. Let it burn. Let it burn. Till all that's left is ash.
So there you have it. I would love to know which of these DIYs that we made today was your favorite. And I'm also very curious if anyone's going to be making any of these themselves. And if you do, please make sure to tag me on Instagram so I can see your handiwork. And that is at TessaJane_M. So please make sure to follow me there. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe so you do not miss any other videos that I post in the future, and hit that bell notification so you can be notified every time I post a new room makeover video, thrift flip or thrift hauls, or other DIY projects as well. So I will see you guys in the next video, and thank you so much. Bye.
Is this the last time I can see you in a while? Is it the truth that you'll be living tonight? We should take a walk, then a swim in the sea.